Konnichiwa minasan. This is our semester project. I'm Sean, and I'm joined by.
I am ready.
I am Trishawn.
All right, and we're gonna be starting off with J-pop or Nihon no Ongaku. So why is it cool? Well, J-pop is known for its high-pitched vocals, catchy beats, and its association with pop advertisements, such as promotional appearances and being featured in anime openings or endings. J-pop has a very loyal fan base that enjoys the music. There are many interesting and unique aspects to Japanese music, such as vocaloids,
Mic off.
unusual key changes, and intriguing music videos. The visual, sta- the visual style of J-pop is one of its most significant elements, with many artists incorporating fantasy or UFO themes. Do you find it in America? Uh, yes, you do, but it's not as popular as other music genres. And even though it's not as popular, it still has a dedicated fan base. J pop also lacks the same level of coverage in America as it receives in Asia. Japanese music reflects the unique culture of Japan, which is distinct from that of America. This cultural difference is another reason why J pop hasn't really gained widespread popularity in America. There are still several music groups that has gained significant notoriety in Japan, such as Ado and Yasobi, my favorite Japanese group, which is the most popular music group in America. Why is it in Japan? Well, J pop is where the genre was born. It is where the genre is the most significant, and well, American people like or accept it. Over the years, Japanese musicians have found success in North America at different times, such as 1963 with the hit song Sukiyaki to Yellow Magic Orchestra techno pop in the late 70s. In the late 70s, Japanese music has consistently crossed over into various genres decade after decade. Challenges such as the language barrier, cultural disparities, restricting marketing efforts, and more have hindered the widespread acceptance of J-pop in the United States. Nevertheless, few J-pop artists have managed to garner recognitions. And while J-pop will most likely not be widely accepted, it will most definitely still have loyal listeners who enjoy the music. Okay, next slide. Alright, anime and manga. Why is it cool? Well, anime has a very distinct art style that is very different from the Western world, with very different character design that appeal to many around the world. Japanese anime is known for its high production value, including detailed artwork and compelling animation. There are many unique genres of anime, and the storytelling can be very rich and insightful while teaching you the culture of Japan. Anime and manga covers a vast array of genre, and while it mostly caters to younger demographic, it can still be enjoyed by all ages. And there are many American media that have actually taken inspiration from anime culture, such as The Matrix, with its multi-view camera angle that is inspired by shonen action shots. And there's also Avatar, The Last Airbender, which has sometimes been regarded as anime with its many similarities, such as its plot, characters, Asian influences, and animation style. Even popular video games such as Elden Rings have taken inspiration from anime, such as the uncanny references to Weapon in Berserk and Breath of the Wild being heavily inspired by Studio Ghibli. There are many things Japanese animation has that Americans does not. And as one professor in Michigan said, I am quoting from him now, American cartoons are family friendly and offensive, and generally speaking, they do not try to challenge the viewer. Japanese animes are less shy to address these subjects, such as complex relationships and moral gray areas. Do you find it in America? Well, the history of anime started in 1986 and has gained more popularity over time. Anime in to this day and age, anime conventions are held in major cities across the country, drawing thousands of attendees. Additionally, streaming platforms such as Netflix offer a wide selection of anime series, making them accessible to a broader audience. Manga, the printed form of anime, is also widely read in the US. Is also widely read in the US. Major bookstores, chains, and online retailers carry a variety of manga titles, catering to readers of many different genres and age groups. There are even streaming services dedicated to anime, such as Crunchyroll, of course, and a prevalence of anime content in social media. In September 2012, Crunchyroll only had 100,000 subscribers, but by February 2017, the number has grown to 1 million, and I'm pretty sure in 2023 it's a lot bigger. Manga has had a long road, and it started in World War II, and hasn't actually been that recently until manga has been identified as high art or an art form to be respected. And that's because for a time, manga was considered pulp fiction and at severe times a danger to children. It wasn't until the 1980s, that manga would take more popularity around the world, with two titles in particular: Akira, I have a picture there, and Ghost in the Shell, with Akira being the entry point for anime's breakthrough into English-speaking culture. Ghost in the Shell would also inspire films like Matrix. Can I bring that up again? In 1984, Dragon Ball appeared and laid the foundation for many other pop culture works such as Rurouni Kenshin, Naruto, One Piece, and many, many other animes. Anime has even spread its popularity to Hollywood, although this is something that is not entirely positive, with live action films such as Death Note, Attack on Titan, and the whitewashing of characters in Ghost in the Shell. And recent anime series such as Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online, and My Hero Academia have become mainstream, surpassing the popularity of some American shows. Why is in Japan? Well, anime in Japan have deep cultural roots in Japan. Yeah. And will American like or accept it if it came to America? Well, anime has already been pretty much accepted in America. Anime has gained global popularity too due to its distinct and captivating narrative, impressive visual, and its characters. And yeah, America has also influenced American culture from fashion to sport and music. And yeah, it's basically more mainstream and more accepted now. And that's it.
So I'm gonna talk about Japanese commuter trains, or Nihon no Densha. Japan's public transit rail is a sharp contrast to its American counterpart. While you can find extensive passenger train networks in some of the most heavily populated American cities, it falls short of the quality, speed, and usage seen in Japan. Japan's public transit system is largely a product of its high density city design philosophy of developing urban areas with public transit networks in mind. Public transit is also widely accepted as a primary means of travel in Japanese culture. It isn't very likely for us in America to have a similar system for three main reasons. The cultural acceptance of mass public transport is not oriented towards passenger rail in the US. While in Japan it is widely accepted by commuters and tourists alike, American commuter trains are stigmatized even in the cases where they are present. People are much more acclimated to car travel for commuter traffic and plane travel for long distances. The US government is also very unlikely to support such infrastructure, as its success is unproven in the American market, and there is little financial lobbying for it. The private market is also unlikely to support it, as it would not be as profitable as things like commercial airlines, for example. The philosophy of US city development is also not oriented towards wide-scale public transit. Since American cities have developed with car infrastructure in mind for the most part, large highway networks have taken the place that commuter rail would otherwise occupy. Compared to their European and Asian counterparts, the vast majority of American city residents live in widespread, low density areas. These areas are extremely difficult to effectively cover with public transport. Next, I'll talk about historical Japanese architecture. Um, Compared to the historical architecture of America, which is mostly rooted in modern era European designs, Japan's historical architecture has much more ancient roots from its cultural neighbors. Japan's distinct architectural style can be largely attributed to the trade of Buddhism with China that was prevalent in early Japanese history. As Japanese history progressed past the Nara period, Japan's architectural style diverged along with its culture. The movement of the capital from Nara to Kyoto summarized this change. As history progressed into the Sengoku Jidai era, this architectural style would begin to heavily be represented in a militaristic setting. While some historical American architecture does share features with ancient Rome and Greece, this is more a product of the neoclassical movement that was popular in modern era Europe, rather than a direct cultural exchange with those civilizations. American architecture also did not have the time to develop on its own before the emergence of today's architectural style, which was born in the industrial era. Americans are familiar with Japanese architecture to some extent, mainly in terms of historical and cultural appreciation. For the most part, however, it is too far removed from contemporary American style to be largely adopted outside of a few aesthetic details.
Okay, now we're going to discuss on Japanese food, or also known as Nihon no, Nihon Rai, Rori, Rori, yeah, or Orori for short. Yeah. Okay, now from the country's early beginnings, Japanese cuisine has been a part of Japanese culture. Japanese cuisine combines a variety of unusual unusual ingredients with two staples that are highly populated among the people there: rice and fish. Other common foods including rice balls, ramen, sashimi, and wagashi. While many Japanese dishes are similar to American cuisines, Americans have been inspired to create a wide range of unique variations. You may find any kind of variations in America since both foods are frequently used in both food markets. They are both well liked in both nations, with these three foods in particular. Number one, we got sushi. Now, sushi, as y'all can know, is like the most popular food in Japan or any other culture because rice is just that one ingredient that just stands off than other ingredients. So like rice is just so good in a way. So you could combine rice with fish, vegetables, and any other type of Cajun literally anything. Even this hot sauce, this green hot sauce. I forgot what it's called. I think it's like wasabi. Yeah, wasabi. You can combine it with wasabi to have like a spicy experience with it. And number two is wagashi. Wagashi is like it's like it's like vegetables, like baked vegetables mixed with cream and others. But um, it's really popular. in like Japanese desserts because like you can make like you can create like all of these um vegetables into like these plant like cartoon lookish things, which is really cool in my opinion. And number three, we got sashimi, which is basically sushi but without rice. There's more vegetables in it. There's meat and other stuff that's in it too. Sometimes you can have shrimps or mushrooms, but that's also good too. But it's usually just sushi or maki rolls without rice, basically. And next, we got Japanese festivals, or you say Nihono no Matsuri. Okay, okay. There are four major Japanese festivals that are very important and have a variety of roles in modern Japanese cultures. Owari Odori, Japanese most biggest traditional dance festival, is held in Tokushima City in the remote prefecture of Tokushima on Shinkoku Island. With more than 400 years of rich history, the Ari Odori is one of the Japanese top three great Bon Odori festivals there is, which are all elaborated traditional dances held during the summer holidays of Oban, and it takes places over several days in mid-August or late August, but like around that time. Number two, we got Tanabata or the Star Festival. It's a significant seasonal celebration observed throughout Japan that begins on July the 7th and lasts until mid August, which is the same as the first one. There's homes, shops, arcades, streets, and all sorts of colorful decorations that you will find in these festivals. Number three, we got the Nabuta Matsuri, which is a realistic celebration that is particular significant to Japanese families since it is a means of congratulating the deceased spirits and sending them on their way to the afterlife. So it's kind of like Cinco de Mayo, but it's like a Japanese way of it. But yeah, you basically just celebrate all the past relatives or the people in your family that passed away, and you're like celebrating them to like the afterlife and stuff, spiritual stuff. But yeah, cool. Number four, we got Hakata Don Taku Matsuri. It's a highly anticipated Golden Week celebration that takes place in beautifully dressed dancers. Many of whom are carrying the festival signature wooden Daimoji spoon takes over the streets throughout the celebration, accompanied by exquisitely painted painted art, which is called Hana Jidosha floats. And yeah, it's like how like a parade, like in the cities, you have like people like parading in the streets and stuff with the carts and stuff. It's literally like that in a way. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my part.
Alright. 聞いてくれて
Minas
ありがとう。
Minasan kite kurete arigato.
Mic on.
Well, Minasan, kite kurete arigato, because thank God he said it at the end so I can